Hello everyone, I'm Kanako. I have recently heard that people in individualistic cultures are happier than people in collectivistic cultures. Based on my own experiences, I wondered if this was really true. So I looked for the facts and checked the World Happiness Report 2019, which was just published on March 20th, the International Day of Happiness. This report included participants from 156 countries. The results were based on the self-ratings called Country Ladder. It asks respondents to think of a ladder with the best possible life for them being a 10 and the worst possible life being a 0, and then to rank their life accordingly. The top 3 ranked countries were Finland, Denmark, and Norway, with averages between 7.5 and 8. In fact, the average levels of happiness in North America and Western Europe were consistently higher than that of Asian cultures. The US did not make it into the top 10 countries, but was ranked at 19 with the mean of 6.89. Japan, where I was born and raised, came in 58th with the mean of 5.89. Although both countries were ranked in the upper 40%, this was still very interesting to me because our PTG lab has also found some cross-cultural differences between the two nations, with Americans showing higher levels of post-traumatic growth than the Japanese participants overall. So how can we explain the relationships between happiness and PTG? I think there are 3 potential views on their relationship. The first view is no relationship. People who experience PTG are not expected to be happier due to the trauma they experienced. Research consistently shows that PTG and negative emotions such as sorrow coexist. This means that not only happiness and PTG are uncorrelated, it can be cruel to suggest that PTG must involve a sense of happiness. The second view is positive relationship. If we look at happiness as something that we can gain through our cognitive effort, then people may become happier due to their PTG experiences. As a matter of fact, researchers found this to be more likely when studying PTG and happiness by focusing on satisfaction with life among people who had sustained spinal cord injuries in childhood in the United States and people with physical disabilities in Korea. They reported that in both cases, a part of PTG and happiness were positively related to each other. Unlike the first view, people who experienced trauma and PTG in fact showed a higher level of happiness in both individualistic cultures and collectivistic ones. The third view is seemingly the opposite of the second, that is, negative correlation. If we experience PTG, I wonder we should feel less happy, even though this is clearly contradictory to the results found above. If PTG can help us see things deeper and more clearly, then we could feel less happy once our eyes are opened to the fact that there are suffering everywhere. This may be a matter of a collectivistic cultural perception that happiness can only be achieved when everybody else is happy. The famous quote from a Japanese poet, Kenji Miyazawa, is that until all people are happy, there is no individual happiness. From this point of view, one can only feel maximum happiness by ignoring the suffering of others or themselves, which does not seem to occur among people who experienced PTG. Each of these views depend on how we define happiness in PTG, how we measure these constructs, and when we test, with whom. There is still work to be done in this field. But one of the leading scholars in research about happiness, Dr. Diener, says that one consistent factor shared by happy people is that they care for others and feel cared for themselves. This love for other people both can cause unhappiness for their plight and joy for their lives. Despite which cultures participants may come from, they must still be connected with one another in order to experience PTG, happiness, or both. This seems to indicate that none of these views are actually mutually exclusive. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. If you have any questions, please email me. Thanks.